The following is a presentation of the Magnitude Sports Network.
Satter wants the ball. It's going to maybe tee it up for 11-3. He got it! 11 three-pointers for Ty Satter. It's unbelievable. Here comes the fusion the other way. Nice ball in towards Kamai. Kamai able to set up down. Kamai beating the keeper. Shot on the way, and Kamai scores. 1-0 for the Fusion in this
1-2 pitch. Line shot up the middle. One run will score. Deer rounding third. He's coming to the plate.
Burwest, they center in front. Scarborough down low. Loose in front. In for a goal. South Shaley gets the first goal of this East Region title.
Let's turn things over to the broadcast booth. The pregame show starts now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another game of American Legion Baseball for the Shield Invitational Legion A Baseball Tournament, hosted here in Kindred, North Dakota, at Varsity Field. I'm Mike Bernier, along with Wendy Bernier.
Good afternoon.
Post 400, the Comets are in town to take on the Kindred Vikings in Kindred, and we'll start with our starting lineups. Starting lineups presented by Runnings. For Post 400 for the Comets, they'll be the visiting team on the scoreboard. And they're not going to do introductions on the field today for this ball game. We're just going to get rolling. So I'll do the starting lineups for the Comets. Batting first and playing in center field will be Matt Nelson. Batting second, and the designated hitter, Gus Pancrate. Brady Heiskanen is the first baseman and bats third. Blake McCarthy is the pitcher and hits in the cleanup spot. Keegan Wessels will be in right field, batting fifth, and batting sixth will be Grant Schlechter, the third baseman. Caleb Blanchette, the second baseman, bats seventh. Batting eighth will be Blake Chase, and he's a catcher. And batting ninth will be Calvin Jungling, the shortstop. Defensively, Jack Wold will be on the mound. For the Kindred Vikings, Jeremiah Doctor will be behind the plate, the battery mate. Jack Packer plays over at first base. Graham Glasso is over at second. Jorgen Swenson's playing at shortstop. And Nick Thompson, instead of the designated hitter, he'll be at third base. And out in left field for the Vikings will be Kylan Swenson. In center field will be Mason Almaris, and Stanley Belaski will start in right field. The starting lineups presented again by Runnings. The lineup will look like this. Mason Almaris in center field for the Vikings. Jack Wold back second and on the mound. Nick Thompson plays at third base, batting third. Jack Packer, the first baseman, in the cleanup spot. Jeremiah Doctor bats fifth, and he's the catcher. Kylan Swenson out in left field, like I said. Batting sixth and batting seventh will be Graham Glasso, the second baseman. Jorgen Swenson bats eighth and plays at shortstop. And Stanley Belaski is out in right field, bats ninth.
Once again, your battery for the Vikings. Number 5.
Kindred Vikings played yesterday against Aberdeen, against the Smitties. Aberdeen takes that game by a score of 8-3. And Mandan played post 400, the Comets, in Fargo at Starion Field, and Mandan won that ball game by a score of 15-1. Here's the first pitch of the game. It's a ball from Jack Wold. Aberdeen played Mandan earlier today. Aberdeen won that game by a score of 9-0, and then Aberdeen played the post 400 Comets and won by a score of 8-7. Here's a ground ball in fair territory and past the first baseman, Jack Packer. And Matt Nelson gets on base, and that'll be an error on Jack Packer, and Matt Nelson reaches on the air by the first baseman, Jack Packer. So leadoff hitter is aboard. Gus Pancrate, the designated hitter, steps to the plate, right-handed hitter. Jack Wold on the mound, gets his signs from his battery mate, Jeremiah Doctor, throws ball one. Leadoff hitter aboard, just getting started. Kindred Vikings versus the Fargo Post 400 Comets. And Jack Wold gets his sign, kicks and fires, swinging a line drive foul down the left field line. Well foul.
Mr. Pancras.
Pancras? Okay. That's not the fault of anybody else up here besides myself. I couldn't read my own handwriting.
It's all good.
Pancras. 1-1 count to him. He's the DH. Takes ball 2 upstairs. Pancras has a wide open stance. Looks like he does that rotational style of hitting. Doesn't take a step. He just starts out with his base and rotates his body through the zone. Yep, there it is, and he smokes a line drive into center field. However, right at the center fielder, Mason Almaris. The base runner, Nelson, was off a little bit, but good piece of base running by him. Recognized that it was going to be caught and scampered back to first base after the flyout by Pancras for the first out of the inning. Brady Haskinen steps up. The runner on first base and 1 out. Brady's a left-handed hitter. And Jack Wold looks on, kicks and fires. Breaking ball laced into center field. That's a base hit. Jorgen Swenson gave it a leap, but could not come up with it. So line drive single into center field, puts runners at first and second.
Number 23, pitcher, Blake McCarthy.
First hit of the ball game for the Comets. Brings up Blake McCarthy, the pitcher. Big right-handed hitter. Trying to get something brewing for the Comets. Swing and a foul back to the screen. Again, the Kindred Vikings lost their first game against Aberdeen yesterday, 8-3, after a lengthy rain delay. They came back today and beat the Mandan A's right before this game by a score of 11-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch for Jack Wold. It's a breaking ball away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Post 400, looking to get things started early on in the first inning. Have runners aboard, first and second with 1 down. And the 10th pitch of the inning for Jack Wold is a breaking ball over for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Once again, beautiful evening for baseball. I'm Mike Bernier along with Wendy Bernier.
Evening.
Wendy mentioned that the flag is hanging pretty much straight down in left center field. Not much wind to speak of.
And this game underway at about 6:20 this evening.
Jack Wold gets the signs from his catcher. Looks at second. And kicks and fires. Fastball, swing and a miss. Strike 3. He got him on strikes for the second out of the inning. Wold's first strikeout of the ball game. That's 2 outs. Brings up Keegan Wessels, the right fielder. Wessels is a right-handed hitter. Early on, beginning stages of the ball game. Here's the pitch. Off-speed breaking ball is upstairs. Home plate umpire is Dave Gottenberg, and Blake Karras is out on the base paths. Appreciate them coming in to ump these ball games. Here's a 1-0 pitch over for strike 1. Shields Invitational Legion A ball tournament. Here's the 1-1. He kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. This broadcast powered by MLGC with fast fiber optic internet service. Thanks to them and all of our sponsors for bringing you baseball on Magnitude Sports. Here's the 1-2. Fastball swinging, pounded out to short. Jorgen Swenson's got it. He'll take the easy one to second base. Glasso covering, and that's the inning for the Comets. No runs. There was 1 hit. There was also an error on the Vikings and 2 runners left on base. On your Rusted Sand and Gravel line score, after 1/2 inning, it's 0-0. You're listening to baseball on Magnitude Sports.
MLGC's story began in 1906 in the rural communities of Enderlin and Cooperstown. Today, MLGC is a 4th-generation family-owned company that can deliver ultra-high-speed broadband, TV, telephone, and advanced business services to customers on a 100% fiber optic network. Now available in several rural communities, including Kindred. In an era of exploding technology, MLGC's goal is to deliver future technologies that make rural North Dakota a vibrant place to live and do business. Visit them today, MLGC.com. MLGC, moving you at the speed of light.
Since 1897, Families in the Red River Valley have depended on Bolger Funeral Home during life's toughest challenge. With each generation, we're committed to continuing that tradition of care and meeting the changing needs of families, from expanding our facilities to offering new technologies. And through it all, one thing remains the same: caring and affordable service. Always. Bolger Funeral Home. At this time, count on us.
And good evening and welcome back to Kindred. Getting set for the bottom of the first inning. Post 400, the Comets threatened to score some runs in the top of the first inning, but Jack Wold is able to pitch out of that. And so no runs in the first inning for the Comets. Kindred coming to bat. American Legion Baseball on Magnitude Sports. Kindred Vikings will send up Mason Almaris, Jack Wold, and Nick Thompson, the 1-2-3 hitters in the bottom of the first. Defensively, and on the mound, Blake McCarthy, the right-handed pitcher, will be on the mound. He's got his battery mate, Blake Chase. Over at first base is Brady Haskinen. And Caleb Blanchett plays over at second base. Calvin Jungling is a shortstop. And the third baseman, Grant Schlechter. Forgive me while I kind of write this into my line score here. Matt Nelson plays out in center field, and out in right field is Keegan Wessels. I'm not sure who's out in left field, to be honest with you. Here's a high fly ball out to the unknown left fielder. Looks like number 3, and he goes back and makes a catch. It's number 7, and he goes out and makes a pitch, or makes a catch, rather. Mason Almaris lines out to left field to start the inning. So there's one out. Up to the bat is Jack Wold. We're trying to figure out who the left fielder is because there's a designated hitter, and I assume that designated hitter is batting for the left fielder. That's number 7, but I don't have that number written down. Jack Wold, the batter. There's one out. And here's a pitch from McCarthy. It's down low. There you go. It's Braden Yates out in left field. He went back and made a nice running catch. So Braden Yates is the left fielder. 2-0 the count. McCarthy kicks and fires to Jack Wold. It's a fastball over strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nick Thompson is on deck. And here's a high pop fly. Shallow right field into foul territory, and it lands foul. The right fielder, Wessels, gave it a chase, but he was able to land in foul territory. Long run for Keegan Wessels, not much of a chance. A little bit of a blind spot down the right field line here. As again,
I got it, though.
Did you?
Yeah, I shimmied that camera over a little bit so we can get a little bit further.
Yeah. Our vantage point is what you see on that camera. I'm standing almost directly behind that camera, so down the first base line.
I just have to get up and remember to pan over and get it is the thing.
Here's a 2-2 from McCarthy. It's a breaking ball laced down the left field line. It's going to hook fair, and it lands on the chalk, and Jack Wold will settle for a long single as the left fielder Yates was able to cut it off from going all the way to the fence and held Jack Wold to a single. Nick Thompson steps to the plate. He's a third baseman. So a one-out single by Jack Wold. He's got some speed at first base. Nick Thompson steps to the plate. Leads the team with 4 home runs on the season. Throw over to first base is not in time. Wold is back safely. And here's a pitch from number 23, McCarthy. It's a fastball away, ball one. Jack Packer's on deck. Ball still live as McCarthy has a little trouble getting the ball back from his catcher. One and 0 the count. McCarthy looks on, kicks and fires. Fastball over strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's a 1-1 pitch from number 23. Looks on, getting a little bit of a delay. Give the base runner a little bit of a look. Here's a line drive deep to right field. That's way back, and it's going to one-hop the fence. Wold is rounding second on his way to third base. He's being waved in, and he'll come in scoring. He'll come in standing up. An RBI double the other way for Nick Thompson. Wold scores. And it's a 1-0 ball game in favor of the Kindred Vikings on the RBI double to right center field. No chance for Wessels or anybody else to make that catch out there. It was a gapper over the right fielder Wessels' head. Brings up Jack Packer. He takes a breaking ball over for strike one from McCarthy. So Mason Almera starts off with a fly ball out to the left fielder Yates for out number one. Jack Wold then singles. And then Nick Thompson blasts an RBI double to right center field. Foul at the plate, and it's an 0-2 count to Jack Packer. Jeremiah Doctor, the catcher, on deck. And here's the 0-2 from McCarthy. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike three. He got him on strikes. And there's 2 down. McCarthy's first strikeout.
McCarthy picks up his first strikeout, second of the inning, brings up to 21, catcher Jeremiah Doctor.
Jeremiah Doctor steps to the plate. 1-0 lead for Kindred early on, bottom of the first inning. Here's a pitch to Jeremiah Doctor. It's upstairs, ball one. Doctor was 2 for 2 in the last game with a couple of runs batted in and a couple of runs scored. Here's the 1-0. Fastball, swing and pop, foul, out of play. And again, hopefully some kids have an eye on that ball. Get the ball back into the game. Yep, there's some kids running after it, chasing after it to get that candy. Here's a 1-1, breaking ball upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. Beautiful day for a baseball tournament. Shields Invitational. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Fastball, swinging a high fly ball into left center field. This is deep. This is trouble. Back goes the center fielder, and he makes the catch. Matt Nelson does a great job of tracking that one down. A long fly ball to center field, and Matt Nelson chases it down to prevent more runs from scoring. So Kindred does come up with 1 run on a pair of hits. There were no errors, and 1 runner left on base. On the Rusted Sand and Gravel line score, after 1 inning, Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 1-0 over the post 400 Comets.
MLGC's story began in 1906 in the rural communities of Enderlin and Cooperstown. Today, MLGC is a 4th-generation family-owned company that can deliver ultra-high-speed broadband, TV, telephone, and advanced business services to customers on a 100% fiber optic network. Now available in several rural communities, including Kindred. In an era of exploding technology, MLGC's goal is to deliver future technologies that make rural North Dakota a vibrant place to live and do business. Visit them today, MLGC.com. MLGC, moving you at the speed of light. For your remodeling and service needs on residential or commercial water heaters, sewers, drain cleaning, floor heating, and more, contact DJ's Plumbing and Heating in Castleton. The team at DJ's Plumbing and Heating has over 43 years of experience and is an officially licensed master plumber. DJ's Plumbing and Heating. Give them a call today at 701-347-5253 or visit them in person at 1002 Front Street in Castleton.
for the post 400 Comets, Grant Schlechter to lead off. For the Comets, they'll send their 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Jack Wold on the mound for the Vikings. Throws a pitch, and the ball is laced into the right center field gap, and that's going to be in there for extra bases. Schlechter rounds first on his way to second base. He'll hold up at second base with a first pitch stand-up double to the right center field gap. Schlechter put a charge into that one with an opposite field double to start the top of the second inning. So now the tie run is in scoring position right away after the first pitch from Jack Wold. That brings up Caleb Blanchette, second baseman. And the pitch, swinging a foul ball. Back over towards the football field to the north of the baseball field. Strike one. Jack Wold on the hill for the Vikings. Kicks and fires, breaking ball, over for strike two. No balls and 2 strikes. 2 hits now for the Comets. Blake Chase, the catcher's on deck. And here's the 0-2 from Jack Wold. Fastball laced into right field. That's a base hit. Pulaski cuts it off, and they'll hold the runner, Schlechter, up at third base. That ball was very hard hit. Not much of a chance for Schlechter to score, even though it was a hit to the outfield, but it's very hard hit, and one hopped the right fielder, Pulaski, and he cut it off nicely and threw it in. So Schlechter moves up to third base, and Caleb Blanchette, the second hit of the inning, a line drive single into right field, brings up the catcher, Blake Chase. Now the Comets have something brewing. See how they play this here with runners at first and third, if they try to get that run in from third by starting the runner early and inducing a throw. Nothing doing. First pitch is a fastball, strike one to Blake Chase. Blanchette at first, Schlechter on third, nobody out. 0-1 pitch, fastball, over for strike two. Oh, 0-2 the count. Wold pitching out of the stretch. Looks on. Kicks, fires, off speed. Is upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the runner takes off, throws down to second. Is not in time. Kind of a delayed steal. So Blanchette steals second base. Blake Chase is still batting with a 1-2 count. He's got a chance to take the lead with a base hit to the outfield for post 400. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swinging a foul back to the screen. Count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I feel like the Comets came back a little aggressive this game. They're getting after it and not going to go down easy right now.
No, they lost that heartbreaker earlier today. Here's a breaking ball upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. We mentioned it in the last broadcast, but they were down 8-7. They had the bases loaded with 1 out, and their batter hit a line drive to the second baseman and doubled up the runner on second base to end the ball game. Heartbreaking fashion. They're on the comeback trail and rallying, but they just came up 1 run short. 2-2 pitch misses for a ball, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the Comets are hungry. They want this ball game. And here's the 3-2. Fastball over for strike 3.
Will get strikeout number 2. First out of this inning. Brings up number 6. Catcher, Blake Chase.
Okay, somewhere along the lines, I've missed a hitter. Okay. Now Blake Chase hits. So they must not really sure what happened here.
We'll figure that out.
Here's a high pop fly into the infield. Jorgen Swenson comes on and makes the catch. So Blake Chase pops up to the shortstop for the second out of the inning.
Goes to the top of the order. Number 8 center fielder, Matt Nelson.
I'll have to figure out where I missed it. We're back to the top of the order with Matt Nelson. So sorry about that, folks. I Must have wrote down the lineup incorrectly. That I missed the left fielder. That was Yates that struck out looking. And here's a pitch. Over for strike one. Back to the top of the order, the left-handed hitter, Matt Nelson. He reached on an error by the first baseman, Jack Packer, in the first inning, but he was stranded at second. So 1-0 lead for the Kindred Vikings. And here's a pitch. Fastball in the dirt. Ball one. So I believe the shortstop, Calvin Jungling, is being designated hit for. That's where I went wrong, but between innings, I'll straighten things out. 1-1 is over for strike two. Runners on third and second base for the Comets. They're threatening. And here's a 1-2 from Jack Wold. Breaking ball, swinging a high pop fly into shallow center field. Mason Almaris has it measured. He makes a catch, and that does it. For the Comets in the top of the second inning, no runs. There were a pair of hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. On your rusted sand and gravel line score, it's Kindred 1, Comets nothing. You're listening to American Legion Baseball on Magnitude Sports.
Selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo, Moorhead, and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial sales and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
And we're back in Kindred, North Dakota. Shields Invitational for the Comets. Right-handed pitcher Blake McCarthy. Figured out I missed Brandon Yates completely earlier in the lineup, and so he's the left fielder and he's in the lineup. He went down looking, and then Blake Chase popped up to the shortstop. He's the 9th hole hitter. Here's a ground ball on the right side, through for a base hit for Kylan Swenson. On a 1-0 pitch, Kylan Swenson is on board with a single. Lead off the bottom of the second inning. Graham Glasso steps to the plate. So I think I've got things straightened out now. So the designated hitter, who is Gus Pancras, is a designated hitter for the shortstop, Calvin Jungling. First pitch of Graham Glasso was a strike. Jorgen Swenson's on deck as Kindred Vikings send up the 6, 7, 8 hitters. 3 hits now for the Vikings. Throw over to first base is not in time. Kylan Swenson has some speed. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Comets. For the Vikings, 1 run, 3 hits, and an error. And the pitch to Glasso is a ball, and Kylan Swenson swipes second base. Throw down from Blake Chase, the catcher, was not in time. 1 ball and 1 strike. McCarthy throwing from the stretch. Looks back at second base, kicks and fires, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. And here's the 2-1 from McCarthy. Breaking ball, misses. 3 balls and 1 strike. Leadoff hit for Swenson, and he swipes second base. Nobody out. Here's a 3-1 to Glasso. Misses downstairs. Runners on first and second as Graham Glasso draws a walk. Jorgen Swenson steps to the plate. He's the 8th hole hitter. Stanley Belaski will be on deck. I believe, say it's a safe bet to say that Heiskanen, the first baseman, believes that Jorgen Swensson's going to bunt, and he does try to bunt that ball, but I think the pitch was a ball outside, so no strike called on the play, I don't think. Throw down to second base. Kylan Swenson is back safely. Kylan Swenson at second base. Graham Glasso at first. Jorgen Swenson at the plate. Yes, they are related. Jorgen Swenson, the older of the two brothers. They're saying now that Jorgen Swenson did offer at that pitch on the bunt, so it is a strike instead of a ball. So 0-1 is the count to Jorgen Swenson. So here's the 0-1 from McCarthy. Infield believing Jorgen Swenson's bunting, and he does lay one down up the third base line, and it's going to trickle foul. Not the most enthusiastic home plate umpire's call I've ever seen. He might have said it, I guess. I could not hear him from up here, but the ball trickled foul, so now the count is 0-2 on Jorgen Swenson. Not likely to bunt on this count. Rule is if you bunt with 2 strikes and it goes foul, you are automatically out. And here's the 0-2 fastball in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Take care of yourself, twos.
But Heiskanen, the first baseman, was playing about 45 feet away from home plate on that, obviously expecting the bunt. Here's the 1-2, it misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runners on first and second with nobody out. Here's McCarthy's pitch. Looks on, looks back to second, kicks and fires, fastball, blooped into shallow center field. On comes the center fielder. He can't make the play, and it lands in there for a base hit, and the runners will advance just the 1 base. They obviously had to hold up to see if the center fielder, Matt Nelson, was going to make that catch. He was not able to grab that, and it falls in there for a base hit. And the coaching staff will come out and have a word with McCarthy and the rest of his infield. So a base hit for Jorgen Swenson. Glasso's up to second base. Kylan Swenson into third. Stanley Belaski will be the batter.
Well, they chat, I'm going to check out the weather a little bit. I see there is some rain coming in, but I don't know if it's going to hit us at all. But no, it looks to be a little bit south of us.
Yep.
So it's a nice night here.
Yep. And the meeting is over. Out on the mound.
Ask him what he thought was said. Ask him what he thought was said. I don't think anyone said his name. Tell him that.
Press box checking on a few things, making sure all of our numbers and situations are right here.
Mm-hmm. Bases are loaded. Stanley Belaski steps to the plate. Bases loaded, nobody out. Bottom of the second inning. McCarthy throwing out of the windup. Throws a ball, 1-0. McCarthy choosing to pitch out of the full windup. The infield is in. Trying to cut off the run at the plate. And here's the plate pitch. Misses, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
The dugout getting a little riled up down below us here, in the Kindred side.
And here's the 2-0 fastball over for strike 1 to Belaski. Leadoff single for Kylan Swenson. Glasso walks. Then a single by Jorgen Swenson. 2-1 is over for a strike. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the infield in for the Comets. Trying to cut off that run at the plate. And here's the 2-2 pitch from McCarthy. Fastball away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. McCarthy toes a rubber. Again, pitching under that full windup. Kicks and fires, foul ball back to the screen. Top of the order, and Mason Almaris on deck. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out. Bases loaded. 1-0 lead for the Kindred Vikings over the Comets. And here's a pitch, swinging a ground ball sharply at the shortstop. They'll come home with it, and it goes up the line, and everybody's safe. Now a second run's trying to score, and Glasso is safe on the play. So I believe it'll be a fielder's choice. Fielder's choice for Belaski, and then Glasso scores on the throwing error. So Kylan Swenson scores on the fielder's choice. Glasso scores on the error by the shortstop. Jorgen Swenson did advance all the way to third base from first, and Belaski's safe at first. We'll give Belaski an RBI in that play. And more importantly for the Kindred Vikings, they take a 3-0 lead on that play with 2 runs scoring. Still nobody out, and top of the order, Mason Almaris up at the plate. First error of the ball game. For the Comets. Vikings had themselves an error back in the first inning.
I was going to say, everybody had 2 errors. Okay.
There's a swing and a drive into the right center field gap, and that's down. That's going to score at least 1 run. Mason Almaris scampering into second base. He'll have a stand-up double. And Belaski halts at third base. Jorgen Swenson scores on the RBI double from Mason Almaris. And still nobody out. Third run of the inning already in. Kindred now leads it by a score of 4-0. Jack Wold will step to the plate. Four to nothing lead for the Vikings. Jack Wold steps up. He's 1 for 1. He had a single back in the first and came around to score.
And you have an error for each team, right?
I do.
Yep, okay.
And the pitch, swinging and a high fly ball down the right field line. We'll see if this is fair. It lands foul down the right field line. Wessels, the right fielder, gave it chase. It landed about, I don't know, I suppose 5 feet foul. Five hits now for the Vikings. They got the bases loaded. I'm sorry, runners on second and third with nobody out, and the pitch is a ball in the dirt. Nice block by the catcher, Blake Chase, but not far enough for Belaski from third base to score on that. Nick Thompson is on deck. Jack Wold, the hitter, 1-1 count. McCarthy again pitching out of the full windup. And the 1-1. It's a fastball over for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here's a 1-2 for McCarthy. Kicks and fires. Fastball fouled at the plate. Count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. A lot of baseball still left to be played. We got a couple of games tomorrow. Here's a 1-2. Fastball away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kylan Swenson started the inning with a single. Graham Glasso walked. Jorgen Swenson singled. Stanley Belaski hit into a fielder's choice. A run scored. Here's a line drive over to the second baseman. And he throws him out at first base. Second baseman Blanchette throws over to Heiskanen. To get the first out of the inning, 1 run does score as Belaski comes across the plate, and it's a 4-3 putout for Jack Wold, the first out of the inning. He does get a run batted in for that. Almaris does move up to third base, and that'll bring up Nick Thompson, who had an RBI double to the right center field gap, back in the first. Breaking ball misses, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. 5-0 lead now for the Kindred Vikings. And here's a pitch from McCarthy. Kicks and fires, breaking ball, over for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 45 pitches now for the right-hander McCarthy. Fargo post 400. Here's the 1-1 pitch, breaking ball. Misses, 2 balls and 1 strike. McCarthy a little frustrated with that. He thought the first and the third pitches were pretty close to the strike zone. This one's knocked down by the catcher, Chase. He wasn't aware that he knocked it down right in front of himself. Kind of a glancing blow, but a beautiful job by the catcher, Chase, of knocking that one down, not allowing Almaris to score from third base. Pitch is a ball, 3-1 the count. Jack Packer on deck. And here's a 3-1. Fastball laced into left field. That's a hard hit ground ball into left field for a base hit. And Nick Thompson has got a second run batted into the game. Almera scores, makes it 6-0 in favor of the Vikings, and that'll bring up Jack Packer. A one-out single for Nick Thompson. Brings up the big first baseman, Jack Packer. And here's a pitch. Here's a high fly ball into right center field. Wessels has it measured, and he makes a catch out in deep right field. And that'll be the second out of the inning. Packer gave it a ride, but Wessels was playing deeply and was able to get back and make that catch. Jeremiah Doctor steps to the plate. He flew out to the center fielder back in the first inning. So he's 0 for 1. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Comets. Kindred with 6 runs and 6 hits and 1 error. McCarthy now throwing out of the stretch. The runner on first base. And he looks on, kicks and fires. Strike 1. Kylan Swenson, who started this inning, is on deck as the Kindred Vikings bat around. Here's a swing and a high fly ball foul down the third baseline and into the evergreen trees down the line. Oh, 0-2 the count. And the pitch, fastball low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 52 pitches now for McCarthy. We're in the bottom of the second. And the pitch, ball low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here's a 2-2. Off-speed pitch, misses away. 54 pitches now. Count is full. Nick Thompson should be off and running on this. It's a full count. There's 2 outs. And here's the pitch. Pitch misses. Jeremiah Doctor draws a walk. Nick Thompson will look to see if there's a chance to get to third base as the pitch got away from the catcher, Chase. Runners on first and second. Doctor draws a walk. Nick Thompson goes down to second base. There will be a courtesy runner. Xander Rath will come on to courtesy run for the catcher. That brings up the 10th man of the inning for the Vikings. That's Kylan Swenson, who singled to start things, stole a base, and scored a run. Takes ball 1. Nobody warming in the bullpen for the Comets. Kindred with 5 runs this inning. Here's a 1-0, misses. 2 balls and no strikes. 6-0 lead for the Kindred Vikings. Their Shields Invitational Legion A tournament. Here's a swing and a drive into shallow right field. Wessels won't be able to get this when it falls in there for a base hit. Nick Thompson had a good jump and he'll be able to score. On the 2-out RBI single, Xander Rath clears his way and makes it over to third base. Nick Thompson scores, makes it 7-0 in favor of the Vikings on an RBI single by Kylan Swenson. Graham Glasso steps to the plate, the 11th man to hit here. And we got a coaching visit to the mound.
And we just got Kylan in first, right, when he comes back? Is that what's going to shake out?
No, Xander Rath is over at third base, so there's runners at first and third.
Okay, that's what I needed. Thanks.
And a little confusion out on the mound here. McCarthy seems a little bit upset. Having a little discussions with the coach, the umpire saying a little bit of something. So I think we're going to have a pitching change. Yes, we will. We're going to have a pitching change, so why don't we take a break?
All right.
And you're watching American Legion Baseball on Magnitude Sports.
MLGC's story began in 1906 in the rural communities of Enderlin and Cooperstown. Today, MLGC is a fourth-generation family-owned company that can deliver ultra-high-speed broadband, TV, telephone, and advanced business services to customers on a 100% fiber optic network. Now available in several rural communities, including Kindred. In an era of exploding technology, MLGC's goal is to deliver future technologies that make rural North Dakota a vibrant place to live and do business. Visit them today, MLGC.com. MLGC, moving you at the speed of light.
If you're looking for a bank or insurance agency that offers big bank products and small town service, then Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency is the way to go. Live in or near the Kindred area? Stop in and chat with a friendly banker or insurance agent about all of the convenient services and features they offer. Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency are your neighbors who are here to help you grow and develop. Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Online at KindredStateBank.com.
Kindred Express Lane is a friendly, locally owned convenience store open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and offers hot stuff pizza, smash hit subs, gas, diesel, and propane exchange. Kindred Express Lane is located at 220 First Avenue South across the street from the baseball and football fields, just 3 inches away from Highway 15 in Kindred. While you're fueling up, be sure and grab a snack and a cold beverage for the road. Kindred Express Lane wishes the Kindred Post 117 Vikings the best of luck. Go Vikings!
And we're back. First pitch from the new pitcher. Number 10, Caleb Blanchett, is a strike. Kylan Swenson swipes second base in the process. His second stolen base of the game puts runners at second and third with 2 down. And the batter, Graham Glasso. And the pitch is a ball, 1-1 the count. Looks like we got a straight up switch for the second baseman. Caleb Blanchett comes into pitch. And McCarthy will move over to second base. He was a starting pitcher. Here's a line drive into deep left field. That's going to one-hop the fence. Glasso's going to have extra bases, and he's going to roll into second base with a stand-up 2-run double. And quickly, the Kindred Vikings have the lead by a score of 9-0 on the 8th hit of the game for the Kindred Vikings. A 2-run double. Scores Xander Rath, the courtesy runner for the catcher, and then Kylan Swenson comes around to score.
22, shortstop, Jorgen Swenson.
Jorgen Swenson steps to the plate. He's 1 for 1 in this inning. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. 9-0 lead now for the Vikings. And here's a pitch. Ball 1 outside. So the first batter that Blanchett faces is ripped down the line for a double. And the pitch, swing and a ground ball over on the left side, and that's going to be knocked down by the shortstop. That'll go as an infield base hit for Jorgen Swenson. Glasso moves over to third base.
Number 1, right fielder, Stanley Glasky.
Stanley Blasky steps to the plate. He reached on a fielder's choice.
Okay, 9.
And here's a pitch. It's a fastball in the dirt. And that'll score another run for the Kindred Vikings as Glasso comes across the score. His second run of the ball game. And it's a 10-0 lead for the Kindred Vikings. Jorgen Swenson does make it down to second base. The batter, Stanley Belaski, reached on a fielder's choice in this inning and scored a run. And the pitch is swinging a high fly ball out to left field. Yates is back, and he can't make the catch. Goes over his head. Jorgen Swenson's going to come around to score as he was running with 2 outs. And Belaski will go into second base. We'll call that an RBI double. And Jorgen Swenson comes across the score on the RBI. His second RBI of the day on that fielder's choice. We gave him credit for an RBI as the play was to the plate. That'll bring up Mason Almaris, who doubled earlier this inning. He's 1 for 2. He lined out to left field back in the first and here in the second inning. He hit that RBI double. Mason Almaris is the 14th batter to bat in this inning. And here's a pitch. It's over for strike 1. And the 0-1 pitch misses. Ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Over for strike 2. 1-2 the count. And the 1-2. Swinging a high pop fly down the left field line. Yates gives chase, and that's going to land just over the ticket tent down there for a foul ball. 1-2 the count. Jack Wold is on deck. Here's another drive down the left field line, and this one also goes foul. I think I misspoke before. It is 11-0 now.
Yeah, that's what.
11-0 in favor of the Vikings. 1-2 the count on Mason Almaris. And here's the pitch. Fastball swing and a miss. Instead of fastball, looked like more of a slow speed breaking ball. Strike 3, and Almaris goes down on strikes. 10 runs in the inning for the Vikings. 1 runner left on base. At the end of 2 innings, it's 11-0 in favor of the Kindred Vikings. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Magazine Sports.
Do you have a teen ready for driving lessons? Don't know what they need to do or when things need to be done? If busyness keeps you from driving with them, then Gotta Go Driving School is the place to call. Jeff Weber at Gotta Go Driving School has been teaching driving lessons to all age groups since 1991. Call Jeff at Gotta Go Driving, 238-0236. Jeff will tell you to start planning ahead now. Don't wait. Got a new driver? Then it's Gotta Go Driving School. Talk to Jeff or go online at gottagodrivingschool.com.
Hey, it's Mike with Magnitude Sports. Check out this channel right here, Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. It's owned and operated by a family in Bismarck, North Dakota that I've known for over 2 decades. Kids have grown up into fine young men, and during their high school careers, some of them even played games that were broadcasted on Magnitude Sports. If you like hunting, fishing, general outdoor life, sunrise, sunset, everything hunting and fishing related, dogs, hunting dogs, they're the best. Then check out the channel and show them some love. Go to Fins and Feathers Outdoors. Subscribe to them today.
And welcome back to Kindred. Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 11-0 over the Fargo Post 400 Comets. In American Legion Baseball, we got a defensive change. Bryce Whipple is in to catch for Jeremiah Doctor for the Kindred Vikings. Jack Wold still on the mound. Post 400, the Comets will send up their 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Gus Pancras, the designated hitter. Brady Haskinen and Blake McCarthy will come to bat. $11-0 lead for the Vikings. 11 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for the Vikings. Comets with no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. First pitch hits Pancras, and he'll go down to first base.
Pancras will reach base on the hit batsman. Brings up number 24, first baseman, Brady Haskinen.
Brady Haskinen steps up. He's 1 for 1 with a base hit. He'll step to the plate. So after the Vikings drop 10 runs in the bottom of the second inning, this Pancras comes on and gets hit by a pitch on the first pitch. So he's at first base, trying to start a rally here for the Comets. And here's a pitch from Wold. It's a breaking ball grounded on the right side. Glasso has it. He'll play over to first base. Jack Packard covering. And there's one down on the 4-3 putout. Haskinen goes down. Pancras moves up to second base. And there's one down. Blake McCarthy started on the mound, and now he's playing second base. He steps to the plate. Cleanup hitter. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Got a timeout on the field. Again, new battery mates, so they got to go over their signs. Bryce Whipple relieving Jeremiah Doctor as the catcher. Jack Wold has thrown 33 pitches so far this ball game. We're in the top of the third inning. Shields Invitational Legion A baseball tournament hosted in Kindred. And here's a pitch. Breaking ball misses. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Runner on second with 1 out. Keegan Wessels, the right fielder's on deck. And here's the 1-0. Fastball over for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Wold trying to work with his new battery mate, Bryce Whipple. And McCarthy thinks that Wold took a little too much time and wisely steps out of the batter's box. Calls timeout. And here's a 1-1. Breaking ball misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. And here's a pitch from Mold. Fastball pounded on the ground out to short. Jorgen Swenson has it. Throws over to first base in time for the out. A 6-3 put out, and there's 2 down. Pancras does move up to third base.
Brings up number 22, right fielder, Keegan Wessel.
Keegan Wessel steps up. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out to short to end the first inning for the Comets. Has a runner in scoring position, trying to get on the board. Jack Wold looks on and kicks and fires. Fastball misses. Ball 1. Turned into a very beautiful evening here. Kindred.
Yeah, a little breeze picked up. Sunshine came out.
And here's a 1-0. Fastball fouled away over the press box. 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the third inning. Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 11-0 over the Fargo Post 400 Comets. Here's a breaking ball popped up into shallow left field. Kylan Swenson comes on.
Oh.
The shortstop, Jorgen Swenson, goes out and makes the catch. Kylan and Jorgen, the brothers, collide with each other. Kylan comes up a little bit limping, but it looks like everybody's okay. And no run score for the Comets. There were no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. And at the end of 2.5, on your Rusted Sand and Gravel line score, Kindred Vikings lead at 11-0.
Kindred Storage provides secure and affordable storage 24 hours a day. The units at Kindred Storage are new construction, isolated from water and snow, and are maintained year-round. The area is also well lit to ensure safe and easy access to your possessions day or night. Call 701-428-3121 for availability, unit pricing, and more information. Kindred Storage. You can find them online at kindredstorage.com. You can also find them on the north side of the airport in the city of Kindred.
And welcome back to Kindred.
Some defensive changes for the Comets.
We got some defensive changes. We'll try to pick it up.
Is number 13, Jack Connell. And out in center field is number 20, Easton Ebling.
Jack Cano steps into play shortstop, I assume for Calvin Jungling.
Will be number 5, pitcher, Jack Wold.
Jack Connell. And then the center fielder is number 20, Easton Ebling. I believe he'll be in for Matt Nelson, from what I understand. Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 11-0. We head into the bottom of the third inning. Trying to figure out the defensive replacements here. See if we got them correctly here. Try to get it from the home plate umpire.
Did you quit your walk-up songs now or what? What's going on?
All right. So yes, number 13, Jack Connell, comes into play shortstop. And Easton Ebling moves into center field for Matt Nelson. For the post 400 Comets, number 10, Caleb Blanchett, is on the mound. He'll face, in the bottom of the third inning, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Kindred Vikings, Jack Wold, Nick Thompson, and Jack Packer. And the first pitch of the inning, over for a strike. Blanchett faced 4 batters in the second inning. Here's a swing and a foul at the plate, 0-2 the count to Jack Wold. Jack Wold is 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored in the first inning, and then he grounded out to second base, which scored a run, so he's got himself an RBI. Here's the 0-2 pitch, fastball, misses, ball 1. Catcher Blake Chase wasn't super pleased with that call. He thought he had himself a strikeout. He was looking to throw it down to third base, to throw it around the horn. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball's upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Thompson's on deck. And here's the 2-2. Fastball laced into left field. That's a base hit for Jack Wold. He's got a second hit of the ball game. Brings up Nick Thompson. Nick Thompson's got 2 hits in the ball game. He's 2 for 2, a booming double to right center field in the first inning, and then an RBI single back in the second. He later came around to score. This broadcast, by the way, powered by MLGC with fast fiber optic internet service. Thanks to them and the rest of the sponsors. Oh, we got a pinch hitter. Nick Thompson's out of the ball game. Grant Spellhaug will step to the plate. Number 12. I assume he'll step in and play third base. So Grant Spellhaug steps to the plate. First pitch to him is a ball. A leadoff single for Jack Wold, and we got ourselves a pinch hitter. Grant Spellhaug steps to the plate. Jack Packer is on deck. And here's a 1-0 swing and a foul tip. At the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. On your Kindred Express Lane scoreboard, Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 11-0, bottom of the third inning. And the pitch, swinging a foul ball over the press box once again, and the count rolls along at 1-2 strikes. American Legion Baseball and Magnitude Sports. I'm Mike Bernier along with Wendy.
Good evening.
And here's the 1-2, breaking ball, misses, low and in the dirt, 2 strikes. Caleb Blanchett on the hill. Looks over at first base. And he kicks and fires. Fastball in the dirt. 3 strikes. And here's a pitch. It's a fastball swinging a foul to the screen. Count will remain full. With the lead, Coach Josh Almaris getting some other guys into the lineup, get them some at-bats here in this tournament. It's a full count. Spellhog looks and swings and fouls another one back to the screen. Count will remain full. Jack Wold led off the inning with a base hit through the hole on the left side. And here's another 3-2 to Grant Spellhog. And the pitch, swinging a line drive up the middle, base hit. Jack Wold will stop at second base. Spellhog's got himself a base knock. Puts runners on first and second. That'll bring up Jack Packer. He's 0 for 2 in today's ball game. He struck out in the first and flew out to right field back in the second. Caleb Blanchett on the hill. Gets a sign from his catcher. Trying to work out of early trouble. And the pitch is over for strike 1. Bryce Whipple steps out on deck. And here's the 0-1 from the right-hander. Ball low in the dirt once again. 1 strike. Sun's starting to fade. Out of the ballpark. No need for the lights just yet. 1 strike. And the pitch. Off speed. Misses inside. 2 strike.
Yeah, it's still a beautiful night. All the decorations are up for the tournament this weekend.
Great place to have a tournament. The Shields Invitational, there's a number of places where this tournament's being hosted for the different levels. Here's a blooper out on the right side, and it falls in there. Spellhog's got to hustle and make it into second base, and that falls in there for a little bloop single into very shallow right field. So Jack Packer has his first hit of the ball game. Loads up the bases with nobody out, and that brings up Bryce Whipple. Jeremiah Doctor was a starting catcher, and Bryce Whipple came in last inning to relieve him of his catcher duties, and Bryce Whipple will get himself an at-bat with the bases loaded and nobody out. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball, over for strike 1. Whipple also has some power. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Bases juiced. Nobody out. And the pitch. Pitch is outside. Ball 1. Caleb Blanchett on the mound. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 strikes. Blanchett pitching out of the windup, and the pitch, fastball, in there for strike 3, called strike 3, and there's 1 down. Whipple goes down looking for out number 1. Kylan Swenson steps to the plate. I stand corrected. We'll have another pinch hitter. Xander Rath will come in to bat for Kylan Swenson. And I assume he'll take over in left field. Base is still loaded. Kylan Swenson in today's ball game was 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored and 2 stolen bases and a run batted in. Xander Rath will come up and pinch hit for him with the bases loaded and 1 out. Blanchett kicks and fires, off speed, upstairs, ball 1. And here's the 1-0 from Blanchett. Swinging a little bleeder over to the right side. This will get a run in. Throw over to second base is not in time. And Xander Rath will beat it out. Xander Rath has just got tremendous speed. Nothing McCarthy could have done any differently there. He went over to his left, fielded it, threw over to first base promptly. Xander Rath again just beat it out for an infield single. That's a run batted in. Wold comes across to score. Spellhog moves up to third. Jack Packer up to second base. And we got ourselves another pinch hitter. Graham Glasso is removed from the ball game, and Andy Traum will come in to bat. I assume he'll take over at second base. Glasso was 1 for 1. Had a big 2-run double back in the second inning. He walked also in the second inning and scored a run. So he scored twice in that second inning. He'll be removed from the ball game, and Andy Traum comes in to pinch hit. Bases are still loaded. Vikings pick up their 14th hit and lead it now 12-0.
The umpire behind the plate's just putting his papers in his pockets here for a second.
Yeah, he's got to write down the players that come in and put the players in there and remove them. Here's a ground ball down the right field line, and it sneaks foul. Strike 1 to Andy Traum. I believe Jorgen Swenson is on deck. Coach Josh O'Mara is trying to work some players into the ball game with a big lead. And here's a pitch. It's over for strike 2 to Andy Traum. 1 out, bases loaded, 1 run in this inning. Vikings scored 1 run in the first, 10 in the second, and 1 now in the third inning. And here's the 0-2 pitch from Blanchett. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He got him on strikes, and there's 2 down. Blanchett's 3rd strikeout since entering the ball game. Jorgen Swenson steps to the plate. He's 2 for 2. In the second inning, he singled twice and scored twice. Here's a ground ball chopped out to short. Cano's got it. And he flips over to the second baseman, McCarthy, for the 3rd out. So for the Vikings, they do score 1 run. They pick up 3 hits. There were no errors. And 3 runners left on base.
Bases were loaded. So
3 runners left on base at the end of 3. Under Rusted's sand and gravel line score, the Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 12-0.
Cheyenne Septic Service is your go-to for residential and commercial pumping of your septic and holding tanks. Plus, they provide pre-sale real estate pumping and inspection. Don't buy a new home or sell your current home without it. Cheyenne Septic Service is always on call 24/7 for any emergency services that may be required at your home or business. Call 701-317-2756. Cheyenne Septic Service, a local business in Leonard, North Dakota.
For your remodeling and service needs on residential or commercial water heaters, sewers, drain cleaning, floor heating, and more, contact DJ's Plumbing and Heating in Castleton. The team at DJ's Plumbing and Heating has over 43 years of experience and is an officially licensed master plumber. DJ's Plumbing and Heating. Give them a call today at 701-347-5253 or visit them in person at 1002 Front Street in Castleton.
Lucas. back in Kindred. Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 12-0 over the Fargo Post 400 Comets. Jack Wold on the mound for the Vikings. New left fielder is Lucas Dahl out in left field. And the pitch misses for a ball. Carson Andel will come in and relieve Jack Packer at first base. Andy Traum stays in the game after pinch hitting and plays second base. Swinging a high pop fly into shallow right field. Belaski will come on and make the catch, and there's one away. Grant Schlechter was the batter. He had a booming double back in the second inning. Now he pops this one up to right field for the first out. The pitcher now, Caleb Blanchett, will step to the plate. So Jorgen Swenson stays in at shortstop. Grant Spellhog pinch hit for Nick Thompson. He stays at third base. Bryce Whipple still the catcher. Lucas Dahl out in left. Looks like Xander Rath moved over to center field. So I'd assume Lucas Dahl took over for Mason Almaris in center field in his batting lineup. First pitch to Blanchett is a ball. And the pitch over for strike one. Jack Wold on the mound, pitching to his battery mate Bryce Whipple. Caleb Blanchett at the plate. Brandon Yates on deck. And the pitch, breaking ball away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 1 the count. And Wold kicks and fires inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. And here's a 3-1. Fastball misses. And Blanchett draws himself a 1-out walk. Brandon Yates steps to the plate. He struck out looking back in the second inning. Your Kindred Express Lane scoreboard shows the Kindred Vikings on top by a score of 12-0. And here's a pitch. Here's a hard hit ground ball up to short. Jorgen Swenson's got it. Flips it with his glove over to first base. Double play. A 6-4-3 double play. Jorgen Swenson fields it with his glove. Flips it with his glove to Andy Traum at second base, who fires down to first in time for the 6-4-3 double play. No runners left on base, of course. No runs for the Comets in the top of the fourth. We head to the bottom of the fourth on your Rusted's Sand and Gravel line score. Kindred Vikings lead at 12-0.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo, Moorhead, and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial, sales, and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
And we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Kindred Vikings on top, 12-0. Over the Post 400 Comets out of Fargo. Stanley Belaski will lead off. He's a 9-hole hitter. Swinging a foul back, strike one. Nine 1-2 hitters. Hitting in the bottom of the fourth for the Vikings. And the pitch from Blanchett. Off-speed breaking ball. Over for a strike. 0-2 the count. Belaski reached on a fielder's choice in the second. Later came around to score also in the second. Hit a double. An RBI double. So he's 1 for 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to him. Blanchett on the mound. And the pitch. Off-speed pitch. Misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lucas Dahl is on deck, and as we suspected, he came in the place of Mason Almaris in center field, and he'll bat in his spot. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Misses way up high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And here's a 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Catcher does drop it, and he'll have to fire down to first base to get that out recorded. Swing and a miss for Belaski. He goes down on strikes to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. Brings us to the top of the order, and Lucas Dahl, who's playing left field, came in for the center fielder, Mason Almaris. Xander Rath moved it over to center field, as Kylan Swenson also came out of the ballgame. So 1 out, Lucas Dahl steps to the plate.
Got a little bit of wind picking up coming in from the outfield.
Yes, indeed. There's a breaking ball over for strike 1 to Lucas Dahl. Beautiful evening, and the wind's picking up a little bit here and there. Blowing in straight from left center field. Swing and a miss by Lucas Dahl. Strike 1. Pretty decent crowd in Kindred. Cheering their team on. And the pitch, swinging a line drive into center field for a base hit. I said line drive. It was more of a Texas leaguer. But either way, it counts as a base hit in the scorebook for Lucas Dahl, and that's the 15th hit for the Kindred Vikings. And pinch hitting for Jack Wold is Jack McDonald. He steps to the plate. So a 1-out single by Lucas Dahl. And the pitch. Breaking ball away, ball 1. Nice job by the catcher, Blake Chase. Didn't think he made the play, but it did wind up in his glove, so he made the play. 1 ball and no strike to Jack McDonald. And Dahl takes off, and he's going to go down to second base. We're not going to give him a stolen base. That's going to be a defensive indifference. So Dahl takes second base. Press box a little rattled by that. There is a 12-run lead there, and there's a courtesy issue type thing. 2-1, the count now to Jack McDonald. Rule of thumb is if you have a big lead, you're not to steal bases on the opposing team. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Ball away, 3 balls and 1 strike. $12-0 lead for the Kindred Vikings over the Fargo Post 400 Comets. Shields Invitational Tournament on Magnitude Sports as Jack McDonald draws a walk. Not positive if Jack Wold is done on the mound. It's very possible Jack McDonald comes in to pitch. And that'll bring up Grant Spellhog, who singled in a pitch hitting performance back in the 3rd, so he's 1 for 1. Grant Spellhog steps to the plate, runners on 1st and 2nd, 1 down. And the pitch, swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Blanchett had Spellhog off balance on that swing. Blanchett's throwing out of the complete windup, and he steps off. They told him to step off. And here's the 0-1. Now pitching out of the windup. Foul ball right at the dugout.
Right at the dugout.
Thankfully, that fence is up there, and I didn't see if anybody flinched or not down there. Either way, it's a strike.
By their oohs and ahs, it sounded like they saw it coming.
Yep. So here's the 0-2 from Blanchett. Breaking ball, line drive, base hit, left field. Coach Josh Almaris will stop his runner, Lucas Dahl, at third base. Line drive single into left field for Spellhog. 16 hits now for the Vikings. Lucas Dahl stops at third. Jack McDonald, who reach on a walk, stops at second. And that'll bring up Carson Andel, who came in relief at first base for Jack Packer. Takes strike one. Jack Packer was 1 for 3 on the day. Here's Carson Andel with the bases loaded and 1 out. And the pitch. Breaking ball over for strike 2. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Comets. For the Vikings, 12 runs on 16 hits and 1 error. And the pitch, swing, and a foul tip into the mitt of the catcher, Blake Chase. And Carson Andel goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning. 4 strikeouts now for Blanchett. Bryce Whipple was one of those strikeout victims back in the third inning. He steps to the plate. Bottom of the fourth inning. Now here's a pitch. Swing and a foul chop at the plate. Strike 1. Oh, 1-1 the count to Bryce Whipple. Xander Rath steps out on deck. Should Bryce Whipple reach? Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Blanchett has 4 strikeouts since coming on in relief back in the third. And here's a pitch. Breaking ball, misses, and it goes all the way to the backstop. The Vikings will not attempt to score on that one. Here's the 1-2 from Blanchett. The right-hander kicks, fires. Fastball, grounded hard up the middle. That's through for a base hit. Coach Almaris will hold up Jack McDonald at second base as Lucas Dahl comes across to score. An RBI single for Bryce Whipple. And that brings up Xander Rath, who had an RBI single of his own back in the third inning in a pitch hitting performance for Kylan Swenson. Run scores, it makes it 13-0 in favor of the Kindred Vikings. 17 hits now for the Vikes. And the pitch, swing and a miss by Xander Rath. Vikings scored 1 run in the first, 10 in the second, 1 in the third, now 1 in the fourth. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss by Xander Rath. 0-2 the count. Blanchett working on getting his 5th strikeout in a relief appearance. And the pitch is upstairs, ball 1. McDonald will not try to advance on that. Count goes to 1-2. And here's the 1-2 pitch from Blanchett. He kicks and he fires. Swinging a high fly ball deep to left field. And McCarthy, the left fielder, was playing very shallow, and that'll score a couple of runs. And that's going to be a 3-run double for Xander Rath as he drove one over the left fielder's head. Jack McDonald scores. Grant Spellhaug scores.
That brings up number 10, second baseman Andy Traum.
And I'm not sure, I might have missed it. I didn't catch who pinch ran for Bryce Whipple, but there was probably a courtesy runner that I missed. 3-run double for Xander Rath brings up Andy Traum. Andy Traum struck out in his pitch hitting performance back in the third inning. He's 0 for 1. 3-run score. It's 16-0 now in favor of the Kindred Vikings. 18 hits now for the Vikings. And here's a pitch. It's a ball. For this tournament, once again, they do have an 8-run rule after 5 innings, as opposed to a 10-run rule, which they normally have after 5 innings. And here's a 1-0. Swing and a high pop fly on the right side of the infield. First baseman comes over and makes the catch. That's Easton Ebling at first base, and at first base now. And he makes a catch. Vikings do come up with 4 runs that inning. There was 1 runner left on base. After 4 innings complete, Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 16-0. You're listening and watching American Legion Baseball on Magnitude Sports.
If you're looking for a bank or insurance agency that offers big bank products and small town service, then Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency is the way to go. Live in or near the Kindred area? Stop in and chat with a friendly banker or insurance agent about all of the convenient services and features they offer. Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency are your neighbors who are here to help you grow and develop. Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Online at kindredstatebank.com.
There's no question that yield is at the core of everything we do at Stein. It's why we are here today, and it's what will continue to propel us and our growers into the future of agriculture. Stein Enlist E3 soybeans provide a significant dollar per acre yield benefit, plus access to the best weed control in the industry. That is yield plus results. Yield expected, yield delivered. Stein Enlist E3 soybeans have yield.
And we're back in Kindred. Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 16-0. There is an 8-run rule in this ball game after 5 innings, so the Comets will need to come up with 9 runs to keep this game alive. Jack Wold re-enters, and he stays on the mound as a pitcher. Sharp ground ball over to second base, fielded by Andy Traum. Throws over to Carson Andel for the first out. That was Blake Chase, the catcher. The 9 1-2 hitters to bat for the Comets in the top of the 5th inning. 4-3 put out, and there's 1 out. Jack McDonald pinch hit for Jack Wold in the 4th inning. Jack Wold, the starting pitcher, re-enters the ball game, and he'll stay on the mound for the Vikings, looking for that complete game shutout. Here's a swing and a ground ball out to short by Easton Ebling. Jorgen Swenson has it, fires on over to first base in time for the out. A 6-3 put out, and quickly there's 2 down.
Number 13, Jack Connell.
Jack Connell steps to the plate. He'll bat in the place of Gus Pancras, who was 0 for 1 with a hit batter. So Jack Connell steps to the plate. Where's number 13, right-handed hitter? Quickly, there's 2 down, and here's the pitch from Jack Wold. Fastball, swinging a foul ball down right into the batting cage. Down the right field line, 0-1 the count. And here's the 0-1. Breaking ball, called strike. Looked a bit high. Called the strike, 0-2 the count. And here's the 0-2 from Jack Wold. Gets a sign from his catcher, Bryce Whipple, and the pitch. Fastball, called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. And Cano goes down on strikes, and that's the ball game, folks, as the Kindred Vikings win this one by a score of 16-0.
Thank everyone for coming out.
So more baseball to come tomorrow night, and the Kindred Vikings, with the win,
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
win it by a score of, again, 16-0. For Wendy Bernier, I'm Mike Bernier. You've been watching American Legion Baseball. On Magnitude Sports, we'll call it a broadcast as the Kindred Vikings again win this one by a score of 16-0. And we'll let you know if we have more baseball here this weekend, and we'll determine that at a later time. Again, for Wendy Bernier, I'm Mike Bernier. You've been watching American Legion Baseball on Magnitude Sports.
broadcast was an exclusive presentation of the Magnitude Sports Network. Subscribe, click the bell, and visit magnitudesn.com for a schedule of our upcoming broadcasts.